Before I send you there, though, a little reminder. We had a pretty strong start to the week. You guys know this because you see your own names on the leaderboard. So the good news is there's a lot of people that have written a lot of business, and one of the secrets to getting the business, excuse me, is that we got an early start on the phones. Make some noise if you experienced how much better the day goes when you start early.
Early,
Absolutely.
yes, yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Always.
And longer.
It
Mhm.
makes a difference. So that is a habit that you want to have even when there's no contest driving it. Like today, there is no contest. That is in addition to the regular contest because we've got the championship going on right now. You got the SLS All American for those of you that opted in. For those of you that did not opt in, you got the most important contest of them all, which is your commission check. So today, we do not have the $25 being offered for sales made before noon. However, it shouldn't take a contest to get us on the phones because one of the reasons that we had the contest on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday was to show you how important that is. So hopefully that's a habit that you carry with you, contest or not, because when you carry that habit, it's going to help you get higher commissions and it's going to help you win whatever contest is on the board. But something else should have happened on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and that is a reminder for you to work with purpose, right? We got to work with purpose. What that means, sometimes as salespeople, we have the bad habit of saying, well, whatever happens, happens. Sometimes you even catch yourself saying that. What kind of day you're going to have today? I'll give it the old college try. Whatever happens, happens. I don't have any control of this. I don't have any control of that. But we really do have a lot of control. If you work your day with purpose, if you work your day with purpose, if you work your day with a goal in mind, your day goes a lot differently. So, for instance, sometimes you'll hear us say, dial fast and then slow down when. Who knows?
When
When you
someone
get
Talk
somebody
answers.
on
slow.
You
the
get somebody
phone.
Talk
on the
Someone
slow.
phone.
Dial
answers.
fast and talk slow.
Exactly. This is an example of working with purpose. When you kind of lollygag and dial slowly all throughout the day, you're not working with purpose. You're just hitting the button. Somebody happens to pick up, you talk to them. But when you dial fast and then slow down when someone answers the phone, that's an example of, hey, I'm focus driven. Now, sometimes you learn something about yourself. You learn that even though I tell myself, dial fast, I'm just not a fast dialer. What would be the solution for a person who wants to remove their humanity from the equation? So I just don't dial fast. I tell myself I'm going to dial fast, and then I find myself taking too long in between calls. I find myself getting distracted. I tell myself I'm going to press the button fast, but when I look at my dial count, I'm only dialing 15 people an hour or 20 people an hour. And technically, I should be dialing 50 or 60.
Cell phones, distractions.
Cell phone distraction can do it to you. Social media, friends. So if I wanted to, what can I do on the CRM that would hold me accountable for my own benefit if I find I'm just not a fast dialer?
Is that the automatic dialer?
Yes. So some of us will say, well, I don't like the progressive dialer because I like to control my pace. But sometimes that's the problem. You're controlling your pace, right? See, the progressive dialer will force you to work as fast as you should. But if you're not on progressive dialer, you work as fast as you want to. But working as fast as you want to, or maybe as fast as I might want to on any given day, sometimes is the problem because we dial so slow. So you might say, well, man, progressive dialer makes me I hang up and then another one's coming at me. So, but it's training you that's really the pace you should be operating in. Now you can always pause and go to the restroom. But in between calls, give that some thought. Give that some thought. Like, I don't like progressive dialer. Why don't you like progressive dialer? Because the call you dial so fast. Okay. Newsflash, that's how it should be. Now, if progressive dialer didn't do it, we should be progressively dialing. We should hang up, dial again, hang up, dial again. But we do realize, the computer realizes, everybody realizes that sometimes that speed, right? That speed, we don't like it. But if you learn to operate at that speed, many of you, believe it or not, would actually double your dial count. You would double your dial count. If you double your dial count, magically, what else will you double?
Your
The amount of
talk
people you
time.
talk to.
Talk time.
Yeah, at a minimum, you're going to double the amount of people that you talk to, right? And then if you double the amount of people that you talk to, you're ahead of me. Now other numbers start to follow. Well, if I'm talking to twice as many people, I'm probably getting more talk time. And then if I get more talk time and I slow down when I get somebody on the phone, then of course I'm going to get more sales. So some of us are throttling, or some of us are putting a governor on our income. We're slowing down the amount of money that we can make because we're not speeding up the amount of people that we dial. So give some thought. Maybe try it today. Try it today and try it. When it's like, oh, this is too fast, don't immediately, I'm out of here. Don't immediately take your foot off. Just try to catch up to, try to meet the pace of the progressive dialer. And then when you get somebody on the phone, slow down, maximize that engagement, and then disposition that call, and then move on to the next. It absolutely will make a difference. Why is it important to work with purpose? Because if you don't work with purpose, you can find yourself lost in a week. Some of us right now are lost in this week. You're like, man, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I woke up, it's Thursday morning, and I'm still sitting on zero. And that can be a little frustrating because you're already starting to think about next week's money. Anybody already having next Thursday anxiety? You're like, this Thursday, already anxious about next Thursday because I'm sitting on a zero. What am I going to do? Well, if you're sitting on a zero right now, look at your talk time. That's the first place to look. And what you're going to find is there's very, 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 very few times that you're going to have 18 hours of talk time on a Thursday morning and have no sales. So it starts with your talk time. It starts with how much time are you spending talking to people? And then the second thing is going to be what are you saying when you talk to them? So once you get them on the phone, are you so shocked that somebody answered the phone that you're like just saying all types of crazy stuff instead of following the PEC? You ever had that happen to you? You dial and nobody's answering, and your brain goes, nobody's ever going to answer. And then the minute your brain settles in that nobody's ever going to answer, somebody answers, you're like, oh, what? And then they say something like, I'm not interested. And now you're scrambling for the objections. Wait a minute. What do I say when they say that? Hello, hello, ma'am, hello? Then they're gone. Then the process starts all over again. You're kicking yourself. I can't believe I did that. You start dialing again. Oh boy, nobody's ever going to answer. Then you get caught twice. They are going to answer. They totally are going to answer. But again, the challenge might be the reason it's taking so long for you to get an answer is that one agent could be dialing 20 times an hour. And so one person picks up and the other person's dialing 50 times an hour because they're using the progressive dialer or they dial faster. So this agent's day is going to feel like, oh my gosh, this is dragging, nobody's answering. This agent over here is moving at the proper pace. So if you're going to have somebody answer 1 out of 15 times, 1 out of 20 times, whatever that number is, you want to get to that number as quickly as possible. Does that make sense? So if somebody's going to answer 1 out of 15 times, you don't want to take 3 hours to find that out. I dial 15, that's just eight, not 9 to 10, 10 to 11, to 11 to 12. So now it's noon and I've dialed 15 times because I dial slow and I get distracted and I take breaks. If somebody's going to answer once every 15 times, I want to dial 45 times in 1 hour. Now I'm talking to three people per hour instead of one person per hour. Does that make sense? Do you think that'll change your money? If you start talking to three people per hour instead of one, of course it will. Because one out of three, they're going to have some type of conversation with you, right? And then one out of four or five are going to buy. So sometimes these big days, you're like, man, so how does so and so have big days? They sold three, four, five. It's simple. You're talking to one person an hour, they're talking to three. It's just that simple. So today's exercise is if you are not talking to a lot of people, if you have low talk time, switch to progressive dialer today. Switch to progressive dialer and take the pace out of your hands and force yourself to work at a faster pace because as soon as you hang the phone up, another person dials. Now, I had an idea. I just thought about it. Normally, I run all of my ideas past Rory and James and Grant in advance, but I just thought about something, so I'm going to put it out there. See, is Rory on the line today? See if I get permission. If not, I may have to.
I'm here, Henry.
All right. Rory, I got a thought here. There's a lot of people who are sitting on zero as we speak. I'm wondering, what if we had a contest today? If you woke up this morning and you don't have any sales, I don't care if you've been here one day or one decade. If it is Thursday morning, you're looking at the leaderboard and you have no sales. What if anybody who's sitting on zero, if they can get a sale of any size, by the time we all wake up and gather tomorrow, we have a little wheel spin for anybody who can use the progressive dialer or use a faster pace or use their sales skills to get off zero. We'll call it the zero to hero wheel spin. If we had a wheel spin of that sort, make some noise. If you are currently sitting on zero, but you think you could get off, you could slay the zero monster today, and we can talk Rory into putting a little money on the wheel. What do you think?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's
Got
go.
it.
Go. Let's get it.
I gotta see the money. I'm thinking because he can't say yes unless I actually give some numbers. I'm thinking about doing something that we don't normally do. All right, but this would require some extra noise. Here's my thought. My thought is normally we have contests that are multiplied by 13-week percentage, usually multiplied by 13. But I think that getting off zero can be as easy as 1, 2, 3. Right? Getting off of a zero can be as easy as 1, 2, 3. If you focus on your talk time, if you focus on your pace. So in other words, when it comes to talk time, you want to make sure you talk to at least six, you want to have at least six PECs. At least six PECs will give you the talk time that you're looking for, right? So you got talk time, you've got pace. You control pace by either dialing faster or using the progressive dialer. And then you have the system. Save yourself time, energy, and money. That means when you get somebody on the phone, you use the PEC in order to get the results that you're looking for, in order to maximize that engagement. So what if you're able to get off of zero, Umika said, how do you turn on your progressive dialer? I always have to check with James because they make changes from time to time with SLS Connects. The agents can still do that of their own volition. True?
True. And you see Monica talking about it there and Andre. So you can turn it on and off. And the only comment, which is just in your SLS Connects there, the only comment I wanted to make on that, that's why I had my hand up, was I wish I had that as an agent. And sometimes agents that I talk to, you guys are nervous to use it, not because of the speed, like Henry was saying. So I just wanted to address the other side real quick before the wheel spins, which is sometimes it's the getting ready to get ready. And so you think you need to study the client information that is in front of you prior to clicking dial. And then you got to sit there and you'd be like, do I pronounce this name this way or this way? And then you're like, oh, I wonder where Shreveport is. Let me Google where Shreveport is. And then you're like, oh, this person is married or unmarried or whatever you see in their favorite color is blue. And you study it too much instead of just letting progressive dial do it. And if they answer and the information pops up, you just start talking. I promise you, it will help you. I used to sit there and organize. Roy remembers me, the direct mail leads like they were playing cards. And I'd sit there and try and figure out who was going to answer first. And it was just me delaying because I got anxious and nervous. So don't do that and let progressive dial take that away from you. So,
And thank you very much. Give it up for James Whitley, everybody.
Woo!
Thank you,
Way to go,
James.
James.
Thank you so much, James.
Thank you,
Love
James.
you,
Thank you,
man.
James.
Thank
you.
Henry,
Appreciate
back in
you.
the day, we didn't have progressive dialing because we were out in the field. But I was always on, I don't know what the name of it would be, progressive dialing. I would go from line my cards up and go from house, then go to your next lead, to your next lead, to your next lead, to your next lead. That's like that's progressive what, Henry? It's progressive something.
I guess you progressive walking and progressive knocking, like I was doing probably back in the day.
Or driving, yeah.
Progressive driving.
No.
It's the same thing. It doesn't change, right? It's all sales is all the same stuff. It's just technology will change, but the process, the thinking, the mindset, it's all the same. James, I apologize for missing your hand earlier. I'm two devices here, didn't see it up there, but I'm glad we got him because he's exactly right. Right? He's exactly right. All we've got right now is the technology to assist the stuff that we already know to be true. So if you do that, many of the people that have success right now, that's one of their secret sauces, as you see in the chat. And some of you, they're like, man, why was my day moving so slow? The solution is progressive dialing. So